Hello and welcome to this section of training where we're going to discuss adding a communicator to the system, and then in a separate video we're going to go over configuring that actual unit. In this case we're going to be working with a Vault 20. So the first step is going to be going underneath Communicators to ValidiKey and then Vault 20. In the top right corner, you'll notice a plus sign. That's where you're going to add the serial number of your vault, which is found on the box, or when the vault's plugged in, you can click 11 pound. It'll show you the serial number. We're going to add that info. In this case, this is ours. And we're going to name the vault. Call it Lab Vault 20. You'll also need to put in a lock ID. This is the lock serial number, which is found behind the head unit of the vault. There's a sticker on there starting with the letter L. This way we can program the lock and no one can actually remove the head unit of the vault. So in this case, our unit number is 16667E. All right. And then here on this page is where you can edit the different information. If you were to be using a static IP and not DHCP, here's where you can put in that info. In this case, we'll be using DHCP. If you got any proxy requirements, you need to use a proxy server. It can be checked off here. And then just overall personalities of the vault. When do you want it to beep? What are the reactions you're going to get when a key's removed or inserted? How long is the door open? So it's all outlined over here. And then you'll want to put the manager of your vault, someone who at the actual unit can go in, look at the key inventory, look at the vault information. In this case, we'll put Joe B. We'll hit save. And now you'll notice this yellow C icon. That's because we've just entered the information, but the vault isn't online yet. In order to do that, we're going to move to the next step, which is actually generating a USB configuration that's going to pull the information that we just put in. What you'll need for this is a small gigabyte USB drive. Typically recommend 8 gigs or smaller. That's just because the file that we're going to be adding is real small, and it's just going to be an easier way to help configure that vault. So right now I've got my USB drive plugged into my laptop, and to recover this file that's going to have all the information on the vaults we've put in, I'm going to click this button in the top right corner that says Generate USB Config. So I click that. It's going to pop up here, and I like to just right-click, Show in Folder, and I'm just going to slide this down to my USB drive D that's saved. So there it is now. There's your file. Close this. Now I can remove my USB drive and head over to the vault and plug it in. Thank you for joining us. Hello, and welcome to this video covering configuring of communicators. By now, you should have this communicator set up in your software. For example, today we're using the ValidiKey 20. And in the software, in the previous video, we inputted the serial number and the lock ID and the properties of the vault. And then we downloaded that file to a USB drive. And today we're going to be flashing the device, which means plugging this USB drive into the unit itself. It's important to note that this isn't just for vaults. It's for any of our web-based device like web authorizers, 2-key vaults, web stations, anything that's going to be tied into your network. This is the process for bringing this device online. You may also be using this process for updating vaults manually, or if you ever want to reset a vault, you can follow the same process by downloading a file and bringing it to the unit itself. But right now, what we're going to do is plug this USB into this vault to bring it online. So the first step is we're going to take our cyber key and we're going to access this top head unit by opening the lock. Once you have this unit open, you'll notice there's 2 USB-A ports in the back here. You can plug this USB into either one of those, doesn't matter. And then what you're going to see is the screen's going to say processing USB config, maybe for a second or two, and then it says config result success. Then it's going to process a small diagnostic, and then it's going to say complete. And once that's finished, you can go ahead and unplug this USB. And what we're looking for on the screen here is this little green check mark. That shows that it's now officially online. And you can confirm that by clicking 111 £, and it's going to show you the IP address that's been assigned to this device. You can also go into your software and you'll notice that little yellow C is now green next to the vault icon. You can start assigning access to the vault so people can take out keys using their mission numbers or PIN numbers. It's important to note that the very last step here is going to be to program this lock so that no one else can open the head unit, and you can learn how to do that in our videos regarding lock programming. Thank you for joining us, and see you soon.